Hello, hello. Welcome back. How are you today? How is your week? And so far, yeah, so fast we are coming to the last week of the month already. So how are you doing? How's your, June going coming along? And by ending this month, it means we have actually gone through half of 2023. Can you imagine that? You know how fast time flies, and yeah, it's very interesting. Entering the second half of the year, a lot of things will be very different. Like for example, if you're in e-commerce, things will get a little bit more heated up moving forward, because starting from, especially if you're in the Southeast Asia region, whereby you know um, as we all know that starting from 7/7 and onwards, all these e-commerce platforms are going to play really big towards the end of the year. So you would actually expect a lot more different competitions coming in. You need to be very careful about when you want to launch a campaign and when you want to accelerate, when you want to actually pause it. Like these will be things that we have to pay attention to when we are designing our Facebook ad strategy. So yeah, so these are the few things you want to pay attention to, and we also need to be mindful of, the potential fluctuation of CPM, and because CPM affects the number of people that we can reach with our Facebook ads budget. So you have to be aware that sometimes when there are more competitions coming in, you need to be aware of the CPM hike, and that might affect your overall performance as well. So yeah, okay, so anyway, coming to end of June, starting from July, I think we do not have a lot of festives coming along. So we can still relatively enjoy lower CPM. So it's actually a good time for you to start testing new strategies, new products, new combination of maybe, promotional techniques, tactics and stuff like that. It's actually a good time to do that. Yeah, because this is the time you need to start preparing towards the end of the year, and it's very important. All right, so yeah, so this is Ask Jason Anything. I do this every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. Mainly answer questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So if this is the first time you see me, welcome to my channel. And if you have any Facebook ads related questions, here's how I do. Okay, if you have any Facebook ads related questions, all I want you to do is go to my YouTube channel. All right. If you are already watching it on YouTube channel, then it's fine. If you are not, I will recommend that you actually go to YouTube and search for Jason Gunn. And then if you have any questions, start by searching for an answer, like typing in keywords and stuff like that about whatever that you have in mind. Chances are I probably answer your question before, because I've actually posted more than like close to 1,000. I think at the moment, the last I looked at it was about 970 over videos I've posted on my YouTube channel. Yeah, so chances I probably have answered a question before. So try to look for it. Otherwise, completely okay. All you need to do is to actually post your question as a comment on my YouTube channel. Okay, post your question as a comment on my YouTube channel. And what I'll do is I'll bring that up and I'll be answering your question over here. Now, just in case you have some urgent question you need help, okay, let me bring this up. If you have some urgent question that you really say that, Jason, I cannot wait until the Sunday, and I need you to help me right now looking into whether you have a ad account restriction issue, or you have some, like some questions, pressing questions you have about your Facebook ads campaign and all that, I would actually recommend that you scan this QR code. By doing so, you'll be directed to my Fiverr gig, and you'll be able to just purchase a gig on Fiverr. And in turn, you'll be able to schedule a 30-minute call with me to answer any questions you have about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So scan this QR code so that we can actually have a one-on-one, like discussion about whatever question you have. Because not everyone wants to, like go public with their questions. I'm not saying that it's not like whatever, but sometimes you have some, like maybe you have some PNC issues about the problem that you're facing. Scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and we'll be able to spend half an hour together, one-on-one looking into your question and try to find an answer from. Yeah? Okay, now, Ask Jason Anything. This is episode 126. Been doing this for 100 over episodes now, 100 over weeks. Can you imagine that? So, yeah, I do plan to do this continuously as in the foreseeable future. So, yeah, just stay with me. Okay, now let's go into the first question we have. So this is actually the first question I received from Jaden. Okay, Jaden posted this question on my video about Facebook ads targeting wrong audience, how to find out. I mean, it's actually a very important question to ask whether is our campaign doing good or not. In my opinion, after working with thousands of Facebook advertisers from all around the world, I would say 90% of them do not really know how to actually analyze the campaign. So when you don't have this kind of like the technique or skill, you ended up advertising with gut feeling. That's what I always like to say. What do you mean by advertising with gut feeling? Here's the thing. When you have a campaign that has been running for 2 weeks, okay, and out of sudden it's been doing good, it's been getting you good results and good cost and all that, and out of sudden it stops working. So what most people would do, they would actually most probably reset the audience targeting, maybe just go and tweak certain things here and there because they believe that will be the problem, or they would actually change the new creative, which they believe that could be the problem as well. But here's the thing, based on what fact, okay, you justify that this is the problem or that is the problem. Here's the thing, okay? So Jaden is asking, what's the problem with, so the problem is with messaging or audience targeting or both? It could be anything. Now let me break it down to you a little bit about the numbers over here. So if it's about audience targeting, for example, then we will actually look at a few things. If we are trying to find out whether this is about the audience targeting, the first thing is we will look at the CPM. If the CPM is way too high, you're probably targeting a very narrow audience. And then after that, we will look at the CTR as well. So if the CPM is high and the CTR is low, that means these people who are actually seeing your ad do not have the intention to click. So that could be a very early sign of a wrong audience. Okay. And then of course we need to observe, the actions down the road. How many actually people actually landed, for example, and how many percent of them actually move on to add to cart and stuff like that. And on the other hand, if you're asking about whether it's a messaging problem, we would also look at the CTR. Okay, if usually relatively, when you have a higher CTR, that means the audience are more receptive to your content, which is your creative, which could be a very early good sign. So, but having said that, right, we actually require to look at the entire campaign and like coming up, zoom out to look at it as a entire action funnel to try to find out. That's why it's actually a technique and an art that you have to master along the way. But basically, what I've developed over the years is like a framework that we can actually quickly come in and pinpoint to find out what's the problem to your campaign right now. Whether is it audience targeting, is it the messaging, or is it the wrong objective, or is it the landing page problem? There are many things that could happen. So this is what I do when it comes to Facebook ads audit. So just in case if you need help, okay, in terms of like auditing, want me to come in and analyze your campaign. This is not about the questions. So if you want me to analyze your campaign, again, you can actually scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and we are able to spend half an hour together to look into your campaign, because this is for those with active campaign, or you have run a campaign for a while and then you want to really come in and look at what's going on. What have you done right? What have you done wrong? You want to find out, because it's actually very important to find out. Otherwise, you'll be making the same mistake over and over again. And you're not moving forward. And you're always in the loop. If you change this audience targeting like this and tweak this, for example, you added certain new, like detailed targeting options, and it might work for a while and it stopped working. What's the hypothesis built? What's the learning point over here? So it's actually very important that we really need to pinpoint and analyze and find out what's working or what's not, so that we can improvise along the way, keep on doing it, and we can avoid making the same mistake again in the future. So if you need help with that, if you want me to come and analyze a campaign one-on-one, we spend half an hour together to look at your campaign and find out what's working or not. Scan this QR code and we will spend half an hour together for that. Okay. Now, thanks for the question, Jaden. All right. So that's for Jaden. Now, the next one is coming from TechPH. Okay. So it's a question on my Facebook ads account permanently restricted video. I mean, this is one of my popular videos on my channel because actually a lot of people are facing the same problem. So you say, can you earn on Facebook Reels, especially stream ads, if your ads account is disabled? Now, theoretically, you can. Okay, theoretically, a disabled ad account will not affect the Facebook page. But what you want to be aware of is a disabled ad account might lead to a disabled profile. And your page is related to your profile. So you yourself might not be able to do certain things, especially running ads on your Facebook page. And you see, the thing about earning on Reels, right, on Facebook or Instagram, it actually requires your Facebook page and Instagram account to be attached to a business manager. And if your restricted ad account is attached to that particular business manager, it might actually lead that business manager into a permanent restriction issue as well, which you will not be able to port the page out or in, and everything, all the assets that is locked or kind of like contained under the same business manager will be affected as well. How do I know that? Because I actually have one of my client, I'm not sure whether it's from Switzerland or France, an influencer with a very huge following. And because of something that happened to the business manager, she was actually warned by Meta about the page that she might lose the monetization and all these kind of benefit that comes along with it. So you got to be really careful. Theoretically, it's not connected, but you got to be really careful that you don't want to have anything that might lead you to demonetization. That's what I want to say. But okay, having said that, I think that's my quick answer to that. But if you need help to come in and look at what is the issue that you're facing right now, has it affect your page or has it affect your business manager and all that, you can actually investigate yourself. But if you want me to come in and look at it for you to, to really give you the assurance about whether you be affected or not, okay, you can actually scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and we can spend half an hour together to look into your situation, and I'll be able to provide you, personalized recommendations about what you can do next to either avoid, leading to the next worse steps or something like that, or really to strengthen the positioning and make sure you're not putting yourself into a very difficult situation that you might get yourself into. If you lose the monetization, that could be a big deal, you see, because Facebook is very sensitive for some reason. Touch wood, we don't have such issue with what do we call? We don't have such issue with YouTube. YouTube has been pretty cool. So so that's what I think. Anyway, thanks for the question. Next is coming from Joe. So this video was, this question was posted on my video about Facebook profile permanently restricted from advertising. So Joe is saying, 5 years ago, your business account was restricted for a stupid reason, okay? You launched a campaign of dogs for a client that you had a pet shop. So when this occurred, you tried to recover your business account for different ways. But always the support team of, they told you that the detected suspicious activity and now on a recently started fan page, and also you had violated policies by posting a promotional video of a dog with its owner. Okay, so you can tell me that something strange happened because one post that you launched only took $1 of the budget and then it stopped. Supposedly you had that $1, even you have credit card linked to the did not charge. I don't understand your situation, to be frank, Joe. But having said that, right, usually when it comes to restriction, any restriction at all, okay, usually Facebook or Meta allows you to do a review. So if it's a restriction about the ad itself, you go in and try to review it. Of course, they will tell you potentially what have you done right or wrong. Looking at it, right, for your situation right now, it's about a dog and the owner. I don't think you have violated any issues unless you have some, I don't know, like harmful situations or, were you violating the dog or something? Were you actually doing something that Meta do not like? If otherwise, you should be all right. So you can actually request for review. If your ad is being banned, you can actually request for review. If your ad account is being restricted, you can ask for review. But having said that, for all these review issues, you got to actually review or submit your request for review within the duration that is allowed by Facebook. It was longer, 180 days, but now, it has to be like within 30 days, I think. Yeah. Okay, now Richard is saying it's illegal to advertise pets or animals on Meta. That I know, but wait, you can actually, but you cannot say you're selling it. You can actually make an announcement about things, but usually I think the advertisement is not allowed. But is this about selling a pet? Campaigning of a dog for a client, they had a pet shop. So I don't know, man, seriously. Yeah, we need to pay a closer attention to this thing, Joe. I hope I answered the question in any way, but otherwise, you can actually scan the QR code and, buy me a mail and we can actually look into your situation. But usually, Richard might be right that you cannot advertise to sell a pet. I think livestock is not allowed on Meta advertising. So that's that. Yeah, otherwise, everything should be all right. So if you have a pet shop, usually we don't front with animals. We front with the products and all that. But you can actually run ads using the pet food or something. But at the same time, you build your community. You talk about those adoption or, pet for sale as regular posts. That's what I've been observing the pet shops that I follow practicing. Yeah, but thanks, Richard, for the heads up. All right. Anyway, Joe, that's our, like our a bit of potential suggestion to your situation. But anyway, like I said, if you need help, actually scan this QR code, and we can actually jump on a 30-minute one-on-one discussion so that you can share your screen. I can actually try to, understand your situation better and try to provide you a more, like sound suggestion on your situation on how can you navigate and make sure you do not make the same mistake moving forward. All right. Anyway, thanks. And next we have a question from Fem. Anyway, yeah, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So this is a question about how to publish Facebook ad to Facebook page. In fact, this feature is no longer available. That's why Fam was saying currently you cannot use Business Manager to schedule a dark post on Meta Business Suite. The switched advertisers use Meta Business Suite, and this thing is not in the Meta Business Suite. You're right. The feature has been removed for now. We do not know whether they will bring it back or not, but at the moment, you are not allowed to publish an ad to your page anymore. But what we will recommend you to do is we do it the other way around. You can actually create a post first, all right? And then after that, you use that post to actually create an ad. As in that you go into the ads manager, go through the whole process. At the ad level, you can choose to use existing posts to run ad. That's the workaround right now. If you really want the ad to appear on your Facebook page, so that you can actually convince your audience that, oh, you have a very big post that has a lot of likes and comments and shares and all that. At the same time, it also helps you to, I don't know, build trust and confidence among your fans and whatnot. I do not know, but usually that's the intention. So yeah, that's the workaround that we kind of, like practice right now, because it's not really something that we can do. It's really on Meta. They removed the feature. Yeah, we do not know whether they will put it back or not, but at the moment, this is not available right now. All right, fam, thanks for the question. Now, I think we have the last one coming up. It's coming from Endiomel. Okay, now, Endiomel say you have a question and you've been following me on YouTube and thanks. Hey, thanks for dropping by. So you were wondering, if you already have a CPaaS, is it good to run single image or video in the top of funnel, sales objective, a catalog off instead of catalog collection carousel ads? I would say it depends. I would say both strategies are sound strategy, but it depends on the situation, because I've got clients that start really well with catalog for T1 for the top of funnel, and some just don't work. They need to use like a single image or single video to really build the audience from the other angle, and it actually works better for them. So I would say you have to put this to test. I wouldn't be able to tell you which will work better, but let's put to test and we observe from overall metrics and see which one actually gives you better outcome. And from there, we do our adjustment moving forward and try to kind of like, optimize along the way. It's always about building hypothesis. Now you're actually having two hypotheses here. Okay. First, in fact, multiple things, right? Catalog on or off. That's one thing. On, you test with on, and when it's on, you can actually test, is the collection working better or carousel working better? So that's a few tests that you got to do. On the other hand, with catalog off, okay, is a single image or single video works better? So these are all the experiments that you have to do. So it's kind of like the 4 experiments that you have to test right now. So that's what I would recommend. Put to test, and we learn from the numbers and see which one works better. Yeah, so I would recommend you put to test all 4 of them. Either like you want to run a split test or something like that, or you can actually run a separate campaign. And then as long as you put the exclusion right, you should be able to maintain the CPM at the lower side. And after running it for a week or 2, come back for a quick analysis to really understand which hypothesis works better right now. So that's what I will always recommend. Yeah, and the Mel, just a quick one, just in case you want me to, like after you have run all these experiments, you want me to look at your campaign, scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and this is for me to come in and audit your campaign one-on-one. We're going to spend half an hour, analyze your campaign analysis, the numbers, the metrics, and all that, and we'll be able to really confirm which one gives you better yield, so that we can actually really like, oh, okay, this one is really working, and let's scale down and make more money. Scale up and make more money with it. All right, so that's what we do. Okay, now I think that's all I have at the moment on my YouTube channel. So I think we have got a few questions coming up. Let's take a look. I think the first one is coming from Ethan. So Ethan say, I understand that BMs and ad accounts get banned often for no reason. Sometimes you heard a workaround will be to use a BM to store your pixel and another BM to link to the first BM for ads. Okay. So you say so that it gets banned. If it gets banned on the second BM, your first BM has it stored data? Is it true, or how does this work? Okay. So, in my opinion, okay, it's always good to have a backup business manager. It's always good to have a big backup business manager because, frankly speaking, you wouldn't know what might happen. But having said that, it's always advisable to build on your business manager to make sure Meta gives it more credit. As in like they recognize it as a stable account that has been doing well, because with that you get better support in a way. Frankly, yes, with my business manager, I can actually solve a lot of problems quickly because they assign different level of support to you when they recognize your account as a matured and trustworthy account. So that's what I think. But having said that, having multiple business manager helps you shelter yourself when anything happens. When any funny thing happen to while you are trying to fix it, you can actually use the other one to come back. So in my opinion, if you really want to have a second ad account, you don't really need to store like one taking its pixel, the other one, because you can actually always install multiple pixel to your website. It's actually okay. So that's something that some of my clients do. In fact, some of my websites actually have 2 pixels as well. That's one thing you can actually consider. That's one thing. Otherwise, you can always share the pixel data as well. I mean, not to share the data as in like share access to the pixel itself, but of course you say that, or if it's banned by if follow the disabled account, then of course we have issues. So one way is actually to have multiple pixel installed to a website. That's one thing you can do as well. So yeah, I mean, there are many ways you can try to kind of like build a safety net to your account, but I would say it's actually it's okay strategy. I would say you can actually try that, Ethan. No harm trying that. No harm having a backup. It's always good to have backup. Yeah, of course you need to make sure you have backup admins as well, because sometimes it is you being restricted, but if you do not have anyone to come back into the business manager, you might lose it. So you got to make sure that you have a backup admin as well. Everything has a backup. It's a good thing. Okay, right. So the next one is coming from Richard. With ASC, what is ASC? Kind of like all these short forms, sometimes I cannot connect. Would manual audience targeting still work? ASC, let me try to think. What is ASC? Richard, help me. Yeah, I hope you're still there. Anyway, let me skip this and let me look at this from Mod. Okay, high CPM 4.9, CTR 2.2. Should you change audience? Seriously, I cannot tell. You have to look into I have to look at the entire campaign. I wouldn't be able to answer metric question like this. We really need to look at the entire, it's not just CPM. It's not just CTR. If you have low CPM, good CTR, what about how many people actually land? You have good clicks, but if you have very, 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 very little land, it doesn't work as well. So we have to actually look into your entire funnel. So seriously, I won't be able to answer this question, but if you want me to look at your campaign to find out whether you should change audience or change creative, scan this QR code. Okay, this will lead you to my one-on-one audit gig. Buy me a mail. Obviously, it's not free. It's on Fiverr. And then, and we'll be able to schedule a 30-minute Zoom call to look into your situation. I'll be able to audit your campaign. You share your screen and we'll be able to look at, like really what's going on and to help you plan your next steps to improve your campaign performance. So that's what I think. Okay, right. I'm waiting for Richard to come back. Wait, let's see. Ethan has another one. So lock in your parents' €5 Facebook account, no ads page created before you click on Ads Manager. Page does not load at all, doesn't navigate anywhere, though it's not disabled. Is it because there is no page created? I am not sure. Ethan, this is something that requires a little bit of investigation. I won't be able to answer this question, but Ethan, this QR code is for you to scan and buy me a mail, and we can spend half an hour together to look at your situation one-on-one, okay, to try to find out what happened. Why couldn't you navigate, and is there any way that we can actually come in from different link or coming in from, different perspective and see whether we are able to create a business manager, create a page, create an ad account to see how we can actually, quickly I believe you want to use this to establish your backup business manager, I suppose. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, we can actually do that. Right. So this is the QR code. So yeah, I think Richard went off. Richard, I couldn't answer your question, but theoretically, what is ASC? I cannot relate. I cannot relate. I'm so sorry. I'm always bad with all these short terms and short forms and stuff like that. Anyway, but if your general questions is about, would manual audience targeting still work? Manual audience targeting still work to a certain extent. Yes, it still work because sometimes we really need to drill down to these are the people that I must reach. I cannot reach other people because this is really the people that I want to reach. So yeah. I think CY helped me. Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. Okay, I get what you mean. Advantage Plus audience, right? Advantage Plus audience, shopping campaign. If this is what you're referring to, ASC, okay, back to your question. Where's the question? Would manual audience targeting still work? I think it still work. Of course. I mean, why not? I mean, having said that, although now we're actually advocating like go broad and stuff like that, but still some campaigns works better with detailed targeting. So we still have to really observe, look at the entire numbers and see which one gives us a better year. Like recently, one of my campaign, okay, that is targeting multiple countries, 12 of them, I think. It's really, really cheap when we go and see, and the result was pretty good. So sometimes you just have to test and see which one works better for you. Yeah, hey, thanks GY for that. I hope this is what you're referring to. Advantage Plus shopping campaign, right? Advantage Plus shopping campaign, Richard. So that's my take. Anyway, yeah, if you want to schedule a chat, you know where to find me. Yeah, you still have unused sessions with me. Please do that. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I have. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, if you need help, you're right, always one-on-one, scan this QR code. We can actually spend half an hour together to look at your situation. Otherwise, ask your questions and as a comment on any of my videos, and I'll bring it up and I'll actually answer your question on the following Sunday. So with that, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend and have an awesome final week of June or final week of the first half of 2023 ahead. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Good night. Bye.